Hello there, friends, and welcome to this week's edition of Thursdate Review. Okay, so this week there's sort of a timely issue happening in the news that is relevant to my life. I'm actually turning 41 today. Today is my birthday, and apparently Kourtney Kardashian is also turning 40. Whether it's on the show, it's happened in the past, I don't know. I'll be straight up honest and tell you I don't actually watch the Kardashian show, but I just happened to notice in the news that she, at some point in the episode, was crying about turning 40 and struggling with that change. And I think it was The View that they were talking about it and saying, she has no right to be upset because she has so much to be grateful for, and it's, boo-hoo, all that stuff. So I thought, since my birthday is also happening at the same time, it might be worth discussing a little bit about aging and life in your 40s as a wife and a mom and just a woman in general. So let's do this. So the first thing that comes to my mind is, and this is kind of an obvious fact, but it goes to show you that even the rich and famous also are not completely happy with their lives. And despite someone with the crazy amount of success as one of the Kardashians, she is obviously still struggling with perhaps purpose in her life and feeling like she's maybe missed out on opportunities, or just being faced with the reality that life and time don't wait, despite how much we would like them to. I think a big chunk of this comes down to just general gratitude. There's a lot of people who don't ever make it to 40 years old. So it's important to keep that perspective of, yes, the wrinkles are coming. Yes, the body doesn't bounce back like it used to. The negative things you can spend a lot of time freaking out over, and to say honestly, I definitely have had my share of that. But it's so important to follow those thoughts up, I think, with the perspective of gratitude. The fact that you've made it to 40, the fact that you have had some sort of a life at this point, when there's so many people who don't get to experience up to, their 40th birthday. I think 40 really is a big life milestone, and I know for myself and for my husband too, it is sort of a time of self-reflection, because it's a big number and you sort of do think to yourself, am I where I hope to be when I turn 40? And it's easy to look back and think, I could have done so much more. I wish this would have happened, or life could have been different had I made this decision. And I don't think that's necessarily reserved to only people who aren't rich and have the fame and the success that they hoped for. I think that's just a genuine human condition. And part of me thinks it's actually a good thing to have these points in our life that sort of make us stop and reevaluate what we're doing with our life. I think everyone wants to have a purpose and to be able to look at their lives and say, I've used this one life that I have for something good and something positive in the world. I think, I don't blame Kourtney for stopping and thinking, am I doing what I want to be doing? Am I doing what I should be doing with my life at this phase? I think it's hard to come to grips with aging, definitely. And, you can go down the route of media, TV, social media, all that stuff that makes what real aging looks like that much harder. And that's definitely a given. The good thing about all of this, in my perspective, is if 40 hits you, or 30 or 50 or whatever big milestone, or whatever birthday, honestly, that you suddenly get the feeling of, oh my gosh, what am I doing with my life? I think if you get to have that opportunity where you feel like your purpose, everything has been sort of stripped away and you need to start at ground zero and reevaluate, I think that's actually a good thing, because it gives you a chance to change. And I think often, especially as mothers, once you get married and you settle down and you have your kids, it's very tempting to think that's just kind of the end of life as we know it. And for many years, I believe that it is. When you have a newborn baby, that should be your focus, and often is. But I think as the kids get older and you're learning about yourself through becoming a mother and dealing with the whole parenting thing, there's still time to do something with your life. And being a mother is a big chunk of your positive influence into the world. But I think for people to say, you're past your prime, you've missed your chance. I know for me, I'm probably a good example of just not really listening to that. If you're new here, you might not know that it's only been really since my 40th year that I've started to get back into music, something that I left behind when I married my high school sweetheart and started my family, and something that I never thought that I would get back to doing. And are there sort of things that come against you in doing that? Absolutely. And it's something that I struggle with pretty much on a daily basis. Am I too old to be doing this? Like, are these dreams that I have just too big for this phase of my life? But I feel like if you are bringing God into the conversation and your motive really is, I want to do something with this one precious life that I have, show me what it is that I can do to influence people. And not that God is going to come back and say, you need to become an astronaut at 45 years old or something crazy like that. But I think to close the door on trying something new or new changes or opportunities in your life because of your age or because of a big birthday, I think it's very limiting. And that's not to say that you have to abandon everything you've been doing and completely overhaul your life. If you feel led that way, then more power to you. But I think it's more the mindset of not falling into the trap that, well, that's the end of it. I'm 40 and my life has been good and it's just downhill goes from here. I really think that hopefully you're going to have at least another 40 years left, and you don't want to quit when you're halfway through the game. There's more life to live and there's more things to do. So I don't know. I guess to wrap this whole thing up, I don't blame Kourtney Kardashian for freaking out about turning 40. I think most of us have some milestone birthday where age just sort of hits you. And I think it's all a matter of how you deal with that. Whether you sit back and say, yep, this is the end, I didn't achieve what I wanted to and I never will, or you say to yourself, this could be the whole new beginning that I've been waiting for, and all it's going to take is maybe some planning and some perseverance and some asking God, where do we go next? That's the exciting thing about having another birthday. Lord, what do you have in store for me this year? I'm going to wrap up this week's episode on that note. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so and hit that bell notification so that you will find out when there's new episodes posted. And maybe let me know down below, have you gone through a milestone birthday yet that has brought out the, what am I doing with my life in your life at this point? Let me know down below and let me know how you've coped with it. I will see you next week. Bye.